Hello everybody, how are you guys doing? My name is Rob of Rule2R Review and welcome back. So today what I wanted to do was discuss Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo Switch a little bit further. Of course, on my last video, I asked you guys for some questions for a mini Q&A, and two of those questions centered around Super Smash Bros. Because that is the big, new, hot, crazy announcement. It's like 10 days old from the Nintendo Direct a couple of weeks ago, and holy smokes, we finally know a Smash Bros. Is coming, and we know it's coming this year in 2018. Now, that is obviously exciting for a ridiculous amount of reasons, because it's Smash Brothers. It's Smash, baby. Like, it's finally coming back. We're still waiting on a lot of details. In fact, we're waiting on all the details, if we're being honest. Other than the fact that it exists and it's 2018, we know nothing. We do, we can technically assume we know, like, Splatoon characters, the Inkling kids are probably going to be in the game. We basically know Breath of the Wild Link is going to be in the game, but that's not really concrete details. We haven't seen gameplay, and there's a lot of questions that arise with the announcement of a new Smash Bros., especially one that's as anticipated as this game, because it is coming to the Nintendo Switch, which is so crazy exciting for all of the reasons we already know. It's the Switch. It's a great console. Not only will we get a brand new console Smash Bros., but we also get a brand new console quality Smash Bros. That we can take anywhere. It's portable simply because it'll be on the Nintendo Switch. Another big question we of course have about this game is, what Smash Bros. Game will it actually be? Will it be a port of the Wii U Smash Bros. Or a Smash Bros. Deluxe that's maybe some mishmash of all of the Wii U games content and all of the 3DS games content, and probably a couple of new bells and whistles released as Deluxe on the Switch? Or will it be a brand new Smash Bros., a Smash Bros. Part 5, the sequel to the Wii U and 3DS game that came out in 2014? We don't really know. However, a lot of people assume, as do I, that it's probably going to be a new Smash Bros. Game, which to me is really exciting. If I was being honest, I guess I should at least admit that if they did make a Smash Deluxe that included all the Wii U and 3DS stuff, like redone in a brand new HD engine for a Smash Deluxe, that would be cool. Like, I would be excited enough for it. It wouldn't be like the #1 thing I want, but when I think about some of those really killer 3DS levels being brought to the Switch in a big package, and when I think about how good Smash Wii U really truly is, it would be a really solid Smash Bros. Package to release that way, and I'd be like, okay, I'm in, it's Smash, so I'll be excited. But I certainly want it to be Smash 5, I want it to be a new Smash Bros. I think most people do. I did run a poll where I asked how disappointed people would be if it wasn't Smash 5, and to be fair, most people, more than I expected, ultimately said that they'd probably be okay with it. So there is that element. I think if they did a Smash Deluxe, it would end up doing well and people would accept it. But there's no doubt that most of us want it to be truly a new Smash Bros. Now, what's the other big question we all have about the new Smash Bros., whether it's a Deluxe or a brand new Smash 5? It's characters. It is new characters, man. What kind of new, crazy, wacky things are they going to throw into this game? And what kind of characters that we've maybe never played as before might we see in a brand new Smash Bros. From Nintendo for the Switch? That's like the most exciting thing about any new Smash game. I mean, Nintendo has done an amazing job building up this community and this culture around Smash Bros. Announcements, and then slowly building up and slowly revealing new characters and new third-party characters and new previously unplayable Nintendo characters, or maybe even returning characters that have maybe missed a couple of games. Like if Ice Climbers came back, which they probably will, everyone's gonna lose their damn minds because everyone just loves the frickin' Ice Climbers. But what I wanted to do was talk about the actual new characters we might be able to play in this new game that have never appeared in any Smash Bros. Game, in playable form at least. And a lot of people have made lists and videos and stuff like this, even posts on Twitter about what are their top 5, top 10 most wanted characters. And it's a lot of fun, and I was like, you know what? I want to do the same. So I've picked 5 characters, 5 dream Smash Bros. Characters that I want to see included in this new game, characters that have never been playable before. I was willing to go first party or third party. I just pooled all my resources. I thought about this, I thought about that, and I decided on what 5 characters I wanted to discuss today. So that's what I'm going to do, and we're going to start off with number 5. Okay, the first character that I want to talk about today, number 5 on my list, is going to be Simon Belmont, known for the Castlevania series, most notably the original NES games, and then a couple of other smatterings here and there he's appeared. Now, the reason I want Simon Belmont is because, to me, I think that Simon Belmont and even the Castlevania series of games on the NES are sort of like the forgotten NES trilogy of great classic 8-bit Nintendo gaming. Now, of course, it's not a Nintendo franchise. It is not a first-party Nintendo character or a Nintendo series. It is owned by Konami. It is a third-party developed game, and Simon Belmont is a third-party character. But for any of us old enough to have been gaming during the 8-bit days when the NES and the Sega Master System were like the consoles that existed, and basically gaming started to become a huge thing and taken seriously, a lot of us remember all those classic NES games that we were playing, like Zelda games, Mario games, the original Metroid, so many other great things on that console. And then there were also those Castlevania games, and I'm one of the few weirdos that actually loves Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest. I don't care what anyone frickin' says, not even the angry video game nerd, who I love more than anyone. I think that is a great game, man. I know it's weird and confusing and dumb, and some people hate the day and the night mechanic and whatever. I love that stuff. So the point is, I love Castlevania, I love the original NES games, and so I love the character Simon Belmont. I think when we think of great 8-bit Nintendo characters, we think of the Samus, the Mario, the Kirby, the Link, and all that stuff. I also think of Simon Belmont, that 8-bit little Simon Belmont character from classic 8-bit NES gaming days. And so I just feel like he would be a great addition. A lot of people have actually asked for some form of Castlevania representation, and maybe that's the other reason I get excited about this, is I think Castlevania should be represented in Smash Bros. In some fashion, because it did at least start on the NES and the Super Nintendo. It eventually did start getting Sega Genesis releases that, to my knowledge, didn't release in the United States or anywhere in the West. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure. But regardless, it still started on the NES and on Nintendo. So I feel like the character makes sense. I mean, there's so much they could probably do with the Simon Belmont character. When you think about the whip or the holy water or the crosses or whatever other weird things, a stake to the heart. You know, I don't even know what his final smash would be. That's really tough to kind of decide. But there's probably, they have so much creativity when they make these characters. I just think it would work so well for a Castlevania character. And for me, the original Castlevania character, Simon Belmont, makes the most sense. So for all those reasons, man, I don't know. I just love Castlevania, and I would love to see Simon Belmont in a new Smash Brothers. Now, coming in at number 4 is a very special and a very important and kind of strange character. But for myself, I want to see Ridley. Yes, Ridley from the Metroid series. Of course, Metroid was going to be represented in some fashion on this list. And Ridley is tricky because previously, Sakurai has said that the reason Ridley has never been included and would probably never be included is he doesn't feel that there is a balanced way to include the character. He's like, Ridley is too big. I think that was really what it really came down to when he was talking around the release of Smash for Wii U. I believe it really just came down to the size of Ridley, and he thought it was weird and awkward, and there's just isn't a way to make it work, I guess, according to him. And so that's fine. If that's the way it's going to be looked at, and it means that Ridley is never going to be possible, then it is what it is, and I can accept it. However, if we're talking about our dream wish characters, I can't lie just because of what Sakurai said. In a world where I got to pick the roster, I would include Ridley. I think he makes sense, mostly because, similar to how we've never had Castlevania representation, I think we haven't had enough Metroid representation. We've only ever had Samus, and they did try with Smash Wii U to get more by giving us Samus in the Various Suit or Samus in Zero Suit Samus. And that's cool, especially because I thought Zero Suit Samus was a great fighter. She's a little bit easy to use, but I really liked her. Regular Samus is great, really powerful character, but I think we need more diversity, because at the end of the day, we're still looking at the same person, just in different form. And, you know, I know that Metroid isn't filled to the brim with other characters that aren't Samus, so it is tricky. And that's why I go to Ridley, like the famous, most notorious villain to Samus, who killed her parents when she was a little girl. She has major history, and Ridley has been included in most of the Metroid Samus games that have ever been made. He's always come back in some fashion, and I just think he's a cool villain. And is it tricky to probably include him for the reasons Sakurai said? Yeah, I mean, I guess Ridley would be a little bit big. But you know what? Bowser's a really big character, and they found a way and a size to include Bowser in the fighting roster for Smash Brothers, and we just kind of accept it because it's Nintendo characters, they're all fake made-up characters, the world of Smash Brothers is like anything goes kind of rules. So it's like, you know, you could make a slightly smaller version of Ridley and just find a way to make him a good fighter with a proper moveset and just get some cool extra Metroid representation into Smash Brothers. I think there is a way where they could make Ridley work. It's Smash Brothers. You can do anything you want to any of the characters, and for the most part, people are just going to accept it because it's like, cool, another Metroid character. Ridley's cool. Now Ridley's a fighter. He's small. So what? Like, it would still probably work. At least I think. And I can't deny my Metroid fanship. I want more Metroid in Smash, and I think Ridley would be a great choice. Okay, coming in at number 3 is a big one. You guys, this is a very big one. A lot of people are going to talk about this. This has been discussed many times before, and a lot of people think it's stupid. I don't. I think it would be great, and that is my main man, Goku. Yes, Goku, a third-party character. It's time. You guys, it's time to get Dragon Ball into Smash Brothers. It's time to get Goku into Smash Brothers. And I just think it would work, man. I think it makes sense. Now, I'm making this just a few days after this very famous post from Funimation went out, where Funimation is basically saying, hey, Nintendo, we should have Goku in Smash Brothers. Like, they're kind of like goading Nintendo a little bit into including Goku, or maybe they even know Goku is going to be included and they're having a little bit of fun. Who knows? But it's been a pretty big story the last couple of days. You know, a fun story about Funimation trying to get Goku into Smash Brothers. And you know what? I've wanted this for a while. A lot of people have wanted this. Like, and you know, hey, Dragon Ball games and Goku as a character has appeared on Nintendo platforms many times in the past. So that's one way that we can allow ourselves to justify it, because it's weird, because it's like, well, Goku is not a Nintendo character, and then on top of that, Goku is an animation and a television show character even before he's a video game character. So there are weird lines being crossed when we think about including Goku into Smash Brothers. I get it. I totally admit that that's true. However, I kind of don't care. Again, we're talking dream characters on our own personal dream lists. And I love Dragon Ball almost as much as anything else in the nerd fiction world. Like, in my list of like top 3 or 4 favorite things, like with Star Wars and Metroid and whatnot, Dragon Ball's right there. I love DBZ. I love Goku. He is the man. He's a big, dumb, hungry idiot, and that's just what I love about him, and he's such a great fighter. He even is a fighter. That's what Goku does, is he fights. So just imagine him being in Smash Brothers. And, you know, if they've made characters like Snake and Bayonetta and Cloud work in Smash Brothers, come on. They can make Goku work. Like, it's not going to be weird if Goku ever showed up in a Smash Brothers game, and oh, think of the final smashes, think of the backgrounds, think of the outfits. I mean, there's so many cool things they could do, and it could possibly open up the floodgates for other Dragon Ball fighters and characters to eventually make it into Smash Brothers. And, you know, you don't want to go too far and make it feel like it's like Nintendo versus DBZ kind of thing. You don't really want to do that, and, you know, because people have that complaint sort of about Fire Emblem, where there's been so much Fire Emblem included in Smash Brothers, it's almost like overload. And you could almost do the same thing with Dragon Ball, but I don't think that would happen. I think we'd probably get just the one character, and it would just probably be Goku. And I'll tell you what, my secret conspiracy here, I actually think it's going to happen. I kind of have this weird feeling and prediction that it's probably destined to happen. I don't know how that fits into Funimation making their post about, you know, including Goku or not, so that maybe that kind of ruins it, but I don't know. I feel like it makes sense. I feel like it's a thing we might eventually see. Bandai and Namco have had a very... Bandai Namco and Nintendo have had a very good relationship before, and of course, Dragon Ball games are notoriously published by Bandai, so there's definitely that sort of connection in the gaming space. So I don't know. I just think it's possible. I also just want it, because I love Goku and I love Dragon Ball, and I think that the internet would blow up with excitement if that was ever confirmed. Imagine that reveal video, because we know Nintendo does little reveal videos where it starts off as like, oh, it's a Mario Kart race, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, you know, someone like Cloud jumps in, and it's like, oh my god, Cloud's in Smash now. Like, they kind of trick us. Imagine a video where like Kirby is running through Dreamland, you know, eating apples and bad guys, and all of a sudden Goku swings in there and they start fighting. Like, people will lose their damn minds. It would be so freaking cool. So anyway, that's just what I want. That's my number 3 pick. I love Dragon Ball, I love Goku, and I want him in Smash. Okay, coming in at number 2 for me is a hugely important character for myself. I believe in this intently, and that is Dark Samus. Yes, a second Metroid character. That is how depleted and deprived of Metroid representation in Smash Brothers I think we are. Not only do I think we need Ridley included, I think we need Dark Samus. And to be fair, some people might say, oh, well, you know, you don't want too many Samus characters, Rob. Isn't that what you said? Because you don't like Samus and Zero Suit. Well, if we're honest, yes, Dark Samus is called Dark Samus, but anyone who understands the story and the lore and what Dark Samus is, you know it's not really Samus. It's not a human character. It's not a human woman. That is a completely different entity altogether. So Dark Samus, to me, doesn't become a third Samus character. It just becomes another Metroid series character. And I love Dark Samus. I love what it represents. Nintendo's been big on, like, the, you know, the good guys and the bad guys, and, like, here's regular Samus, or regular Link, or regular Hyrule, and then we've got Dark Samus, Dark Link, Dark World Hyrule, all that kind of stuff, you know, regular Aether, Dark Aether, right out of Metroid Prime 2. So Nintendo loves to kind of play with that sort of dichotomy, and I think that Dark Samus has proven to be a great foil to the Samus character in Primes 2 and Primes 3, where she was basically a character. And, you know, I think you get a great moveset. You get this polar opposite character to what Samus in the Varia suit or the Power suit is. And it's just more Metroid, you guys. I mean, think about it. They could have her character stage could be like the planet Phazon from Metroid Prime 3, where you go to that Phazon planet at the end of the game. Like, they could do something so cool, because that is such a great looking and uniquely designed area, you know? It's not Planet Phazon, it's Planet Phase. Sorry, it's Phaaze is what it is. So that Phase planet where you go to at the end of the game and you fight the final iteration of Dark Samus as the Aurora unit, which is basically killing Metroid Prime itself. Like, there's so much going on there. And I just think it's a great way to get another character that feels appropriate for Metroid and appropriate for Smash Brothers, and I just really believe it. Now, specifically with Dark Samus, they would run the risk of maybe making the character too similar to Samus, and I don't want them to do that. I don't want it to be like one of those clone characters where, like, Ganondorf and Captain Falcon, for example, are like the same character with the same moveset and same fighting styles, only one's a little bit faster and slower and one's a little bit more powerful. Like, that kind of thing, I don't want them to do, and I could see them maybe screwing that up where it's like, hey, Dark Samus is a character, and she's just a clone of regular Samus with, like, different moves that maybe her attacks happen at a different speed, like a little bit faster or a little bit slower. To me, that would be a waste, because then it basically becomes something where you could have just made Dark Samus one of the suit color options for picking regular Samus, because they would control the same. That would ruin it for me, and I would have a fear Nintendo would screw that up, but really, I want to believe they wouldn't do that, and I want to believe that they would do it justice. We need more Metroid in Smash, and for the same reasons I believe in Ridley, that's why I believe in Dark Samus. And if you think about it, both of these characters are enemies to Samus. That's the thing is, other than Samus, there just aren't that many characters in Metroid to pick from, because it's mostly an isolating experience kind of game, and so you've always got Samus, and then you really just have the bad guys that she fights in all of those games. Obviously, Other M introduced some NPCs, and even Metroid Prime 3 introduced some NPCs, but none of them are interesting enough or, I think, worthwhile to include in Smash. But Ridley, and especially Dark Samus, to me, do warrant being in a Smash. They're a great way to expand on the Metroid franchise within Smash Brothers, and just fill out that roster with cool stuff. So that's why it's my number 2, man. I want it so bad. Give me Dark Samus. Okay, and my number 1 most wanted Smash Brothers character will be a surprise to some of you and will be obvious to others of you, and that is going to be Travis Touchdown, my man. Travis Touchdown. Holy crap, this dude has to make it into Smash Brothers. I've been asking for Travis in Smash pretty much since the first No More Heroes game, which was, what, 2007, I want to say? It's been a while. It's like a decade, man, since that first game. You know, you've heard me say this. I love No More Heroes. You guys know how much I love it. The first game is one of my top 10 all-time favorite video games. Even though it's, like, really, like, a wonky, broken, weird game, I love it for its character, and I love it for Travis, because I think Travis is an amazing video game character. He's just a big, goofy, dumb, funny idiot, and it just works so well in the context of the games and the world of Santa Destroy within the games that we've played. And I just think he's an awesome character. He, just like Goku, for example, is a fighter. That's what he does. He is an assassin. He fights other assassins. He fights with his beam katana. So you've got an obvious move set to pull from and to create for a character like Travis in a Smash Brothers game. It makes so much sense. And he's essentially a Nintendo exclusive character. They did do a PS3 HD remake of the first No More Heroes, so Travis has skirted away from Nintendo one time for a remastered game. But even that original game that was remastered was a Wii game. It was a Nintendo game. And other than that one remaster, Heroes Paradise, I think it's called, Travis has only been on Nintendo consoles, man. He's only been in No More Heroes 1 and No More Heroes 2 on the Wii, and we now have Travis Strikes Again coming out sometime this year, which is also, again, exclusive to a Nintendo platform, to the Switch. So he is essentially a Nintendo character. To me, he feels like a Nintendo character, even with his one little sidestep to the PS3. So that's another reason why he makes so much sense to do so. Suda loves this character. Nintendo seems to love supporting Suda in his Travis Touchdown adventures. So everyone seems to like what's going on with this character. Everyone who's in the power to make it happen, I should say, likes what's going on with this character. And then not to mention, the final nail in the coffin is that recently, after Travis Strikes Again was revealed, Suda said he wants Travis in Smash. He wants to ask Nintendo to include Travis Touchdown in a new Smash Brothers game. And obviously this was said months before we just had the recent reveal of Smash, so we didn't even know if or when we'd get Smash for Switch, but now we know it's coming. And a couple months ago, Suda said he wants it to happen. I mean, if you guys want proof of my dedication to this, back when they had the fan voting for the new Smash Brothers character, which turned out to be Bayonetta, I think that was rigged actually, but it turned out to be Bayonetta regardless, I was voting for Travis. I sent out many tweets. I was like, hey guys, vote for Travis. I'm voting for Travis. Let's all vote for Travis. Get Travis in Smash. And I knew it had no chance at happening, but I still had to fly the flag. I had to fly the Travis flag and say, I believe in this. I believed in it forever. Travis is a great character. He's a Nintendo exclusive character mostly, and he belongs in a Smash Brothers game. Let's make this happen. I think it should have happened in Smash for Wii U and 3DS, but we missed that boat. Now here we are in 2018, and as far as I can see, the stars are aligning, man. This needs to happen. We have a new Travis Touchdown game coming out soon. We have a new Smash Brothers game coming out soon. We have the creator of Travis asking Nintendo, hey, put Travis in Smash Brothers. Like, all of these things are happening at the same time. Like, how can we possibly not see Travis make it into Smash? I mean, it's got to happen, and even if it doesn't, it's not going to change my opinion here. Without question, the character I most want in Smash Brothers, and I'm going to say it until I die, is Travis Touchdown. Alright, so that's it. That's my list of the 5 characters I most want to see show up in the brand new Smash Brothers just announced for the Nintendo Switch. It was hard to whittle this down, man. There's a ton of honorable mentions I could probably list. A lot of characters and people that other people have talked about on Twitter and in their own YouTube videos, like I said. A lot of people asking for Crash Bandicoot. A lot of people asking for, like, Captain Toad, or like Tails or Knuckles from Sonic, stuff like that. I mean, all good choices. Like, they all make sense in one way or another for sure. So there's probably like 100 different Smash Brothers characters we could all list between Nintendo characters or third-party characters that would make great additions to a brand new Smash Brothers. And I'm sure one or two or some of these characters will show up, because with every new Smash Brothers does come a new handful of characters that had never appeared before. And with Smash Wii U, we saw the biggest push towards third-party characters we've ever seen. And that's really exciting. I mean, heck, even Ryu. I totally forgot to bring up Ryu. Characters like Bayonetta, Cloud, and Ryu made it into the game. Like, those are insane characters, but it's really cool, man. I love to see Nintendo branching out in such a way. And it also always shows great support from third parties to see these worlds kind of get meshed together in a Smash game. So, you know, all ideas are welcome. All characters are welcome. It's hard to want to say no to anybody. I do think we don't want to get too focused away from Nintendo characters. That's the tricky thing, is I still think Smash should be focused on Nintendo characters and worlds first. But the third-party thing has been a lot of fun ever since that first happened with Brawl. So my dream is to see characters like this. Give me that Goku. Give me that Dark Samus. Give me that Travis Touchdown. I want it so bad, man. I just want it. So those are my choices. Those are my 5 characters. Please discuss what you think of my 5 choices below. And then, obviously, I want to hear who you guys want. What characters do you want to see show up in Smash that I didn't list as my 5? Discuss my 5. Discuss your own 5. Have fun with it. Let's just all rejoice, because a new Smash Brothers is upon us by the end of the year, baby. It's gonna be exciting. So, thank you, of course, so much for tuning in, guys. This is Rob of Ro2R Review, and I'll catch you next time on another video.